والله يدعو إلى دار السلام ويهدي من يشاء إلى صراط مستقيم.
Glory be to Allah who sent Ramadan as a mercy to mankind. It's a purification of our soul, our heart and our mind. Bear with patience for the sake of our Rahman. A continuous training to strengthen.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and happy Ramadan. Hello and welcome dear Huda TV viewers to our new program in Ramadan. Ramadan changed me. That's the focus of our program. Positive change, self-development, to try to be the best that we can be. And there's no better time to try to achieve that than during the great holy month of Ramadan. We want to finish Ramadan and say, yes, Ramadan changed me. Yes, I've had a positive change. And yes, I'm getting some steps closer to being the best I can be. That's the aim of our program. And you, dear viewers, are in a very integral part of this. To participate with us, you can do a number of things. First, you can go to our website at e.hulul.net, e.holol.net, to exercise for yourself and do our psychological or psychiatrist exercise before the show and during the 10 days of the show, and then re-evaluate yourselves at the end of the show. And you will also not only have a chance to improve on yourself and be the best that you can be, but also you'll have a chance to win with us many prizes. We have total prizes totaling up to 80,000 Saudi riyals. And the first prize will be 20,000 Saudi riyals. And 40 winners will be with us throughout this great holy month on this program. You could also win with us in another way via answering our daily question, which will come to you away at the end of our 30-minute program, via an SMS on 002 014 3271 771. Again, 002 014 32 71 771. That's to answer our daily question in this program via SMS. You could also join us live via phone on 002 02 38 555 248 or 249. We'll be doing all of this via discussing very interesting topics like making the intention to positive change, self-evaluation, anger control, time management, positivity, psychological clarity, and many other topics in our show with the company of our coach. Our coach is Shaikh Ramiz Ibrahim, and he's a specialist in psychotherapy and self-development training and life coaching. Is also a Da'ya Islamic. Thank you, Shaikh Ramiz Ibrahim, for coaching us throughout the 10 days of our program. Thank you for being here.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaykum salam, Shaykh Ramiz. Happy Ramadan to you. And also, we have with us in the studio some very distinguished guests who share with us the great goal of trying to be the best that we can be via self-development. And they are Mr. Abdullah Adiyami, who is a manager of a private school here in Cairo. Happy Ramadan, Mr. Abdullah.
Ramadan Mubarak to you as well.
And Mr. Amr Abdul Al, who is a student in the Faculty of Arts. Happy Ramadan, alaykum salam. And also Mr. Asher Saeed, who is a software developer. Thank you for being with us. Happy Ramadan.
You too.
And also Mr. Sharif Hamdi, who is a teacher of English language. Thank you, Mr. Sharif, and happy Ramadan to you.
Happy Ramadan to you too.
As you see, Coach, we have with us a very distinguished panel from teachers, from managers of private schools, from students in the Faculty of Arts and software developers. We want to develop ourselves. That's the main goal. And we want our viewers also to try to be the best that they can be and take this great opportunity in the great holy month of Ramadan to start doing that. Where would you put us on the track first, Coach?
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Change is not easy. It never is easy, and people are not ready for the change unless they take the opportunity to look deep within themselves and they want to have that change. And we mustn't forget that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that He does not change a people's situation unless they first change from what's within themselves. But you have to be ready, and most of us don't really know ourselves, our deeper selves. We all wear masks. Our heart is layered by years of abuse and abandonment. And I say abandonment because many of us don't really think about our heart. We say dhikrullah, yani la tansa dhikrullah, don't forget the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the heart sometimes is very hard, literally hard, and it's very difficult to make that change. The question sometimes I ask the students is, or when I coach them, is what does your heart need right now? If your heart could speak, what would it say to you? Would it say to you, oh, you've abandoned me, you've neglected me, you know, I need this or I need that, maybe I need love, maybe I need attention, maybe I need security, maybe I need variety, maybe we don't know unless we ask. And everyone really knows themselves. Behind the mask that they show everybody else, they know themselves deep down. And majority of people find it very difficult to change because they don't really want change. They have a comfort zone. And this comfort zone can be very dangerous. Somebody can come to you and see you on the surface and see what they see on the surface. And they say, brother or sister, I see this and it's wrong. And they may take offense. Sometimes people that take offense know they have that disease, know they have that need for change, but because it's put right into their face, they find it difficult to say, yes, you're right, I need that change right now.
So how dangerous is that comfort zone indeed? And is the problem that many people do not even realize that they need to change?
That's right, they don't realize.
And why would that be? Although it is very logical that even the best in their fields, whether in economics and politics, you're always in a competition against yourself. You can always improve. There's always room for improvement. And that who thinks that he's reached the top will always fall. And in fact would be ignorant and not a real knowledgeable person. So why do we, most of us, neglect that there is a need to improve ourselves? Why is that? Why are we blinded?
If we look back and look at the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how He created us and inspired the soul to know right from wrong. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that every child is born on fitrah, and the parents make him a Christian or a Jew or Magian, a fire worshipper. And have you seen a newborn calf or newborn animal? It's not maimed in any way. So when a child is born, if the child is kept and nurtured with the tenets of Islam, the purity of Islam, to change gradually through the time, every parent should be a murabbi, a life coach, to bring that child to a certain level, a certain age of tarbiyah, they will have not many problems. But what happens is our fitrah becomes tainted by society. We're made to think success is in the form of materialism, in the form of getting that gold medal. This is why you'll find sometimes people who are competitive in sports, you see them, they miss the goal, they're ready to commit suicide. I find that very ajib, I find it very weird, in fact. They missed the goal, they didn't make that jump properly, they didn't throw the javelin properly, and it's like the end of the world. Because they have been brainwashed, and they've brainwashed themselves to think that success is in what they're actually doing in the dunya.
So you're saying this success can be in very different fields, and not just a material one or your own profession, on improving your character, improving your relationship with Allah, your relationship with your family, your relationship with your, and so on. Not just material or professional success. What about positive change in the relationship with Allah? Because if we tend to believe and see in our life that those who are really successful are the ones who think long term, whether in the field of investment, in the field of teaching or management, those who think long term are the ones who are most successful. So what would you say about the theory that there is nothing that can make you think more long-term than to think about eternity. Your final destination is going to either be Eden or hell. So if you really want to think big and think long-term, you think about your relationship with Allah, you think about the role of your religion in your life. And that could be the best incentive for change,
of course.
Positive change.
But this is only for those who have Iman. It's not for everybody. And we know Iman is by degrees. And a person that realizes that the most severe punishment meted from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to a believer isn't that he may take away your eyes, or he may take away the life of someone that you love, your parents or your children, but he puts a hijab, he puts a barrier between himself and you. For a true believer, that is a punishment. That you're trying to get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but Allah's put a barrier there. Maybe it's a test for you. Maybe to make you stronger to overcome that barrier. Some people fall short. Again, this falling short is to do with the way they've been brought up. Give up. But the more Iman they have, the giving up factor is lessened. The less Iman they have, they try to find immediate gratification for that need. And it could be haram, it could be halal, but depending on the Iman of the person. And yes, of course, for a true believer, success is in pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and eventually ending in paradise. That is the greatest success.
So in your opinion, Shaykh Ramiz, what's the biggest obstacle to positive change? I know
if I speak about it in generic terms, it will be self-belief, the negative belief, limiting belief they have about themselves that they can't achieve. Because they've been brought up to think that they're useless. By the time that a child is in their teens, especially in London where I'm from, there's an amazing change. When I say amazing, not a positive change, but a complete negative change. I've had parents crying to me saying, what's happened to my sweet princess? She turned 13 and she's like shaitan on the earth. And you think, subhanAllah, yesterday the father saying she was so sweet and now she's turned into societal. And we cannot detract that parents do try and do a good job. But just because we have children, if we haven't had the training, doesn't make us good parents in regards to tarbiyah.
So self-belief is the starting point.
Belief in that what you're striving for, you deserve. Most people, they plan. If not plan, they dream. So they plan, put it into action. Either they stop very quickly, or just before they reach the end, they sabotage it, believing they're not worthy of that. I have no value to this. I've been taught, generally speaking, I've been taught that what I want to achieve is not for me. And parents, as children are growing up, by saying to the child, you can't. I don't mean you can't because you're not allowed by the authority. That's different. I'm talking about you can't do. That's not for you, son. I want you to be a doctor, I want you to be an engineer. But he wants to do something else. Maybe he wants to be an alim. Now, that's frowned upon these days, especially in London, the parents. You have the fathers and mothers who are practicing properly, but they want to have a placard on the wall to say, look what my child has achieved for me in the dunya, not for themselves.
So what's the difference between a plan and a dream? So we want to develop ourselves, we should have a plan, and maybe we are dreaming. You mentioned two very interesting points, and definitely what's the major difference
and this is
between
between black and white, between East and West? A person who does not want change, you know that person. Everyone knows that person. Let's call that person X. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. 2 or 3 years later, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. 5 years later, this is the dreamer. And unless you have some kind of love for this X person, and you tell them straight, brother, you're dreaming. You need to wake up from this dream and stop living in the future, imagining yourself who you want to be, and stop living in the past and remembering those good times, and stay in the present now. And start planning for that action that you've planned.
But there's always a limit, for instance, for self-development, isn't it? Because I can't say, for instance, I want to be the fastest man on earth. I want to break the 100 meters record.
No problem.
I'm close to 40 years old. It's going to be very hard for me to...
Okay, we'll talk about dreams with the dreamer. We know the dreamer, right? Just talk. And it's sometimes to hear it from the same person nearly all the time gets very boring. And if you love that person, you will tell them straight. Now, let's talk about the person who plans their goals.
I wanted to say that the change has to be realistic as well, right?
That's what I'm coming to. You were talking about you're in your 40s and you will do a 100-meter dash and 11.
I'm going to...
I believe you can. I'm a coach. I believe you can. But we have to look at the practical factors. Your age, weight, health, etc. Now, you can achieve the 100-meter dash, for example. Let's talk about this 100-meter dash. At the best that a 40-year-old can do it.
Indeed. Indeed. Indeed.
Maybe it's 12, 13 seconds, 15 seconds, say.
Right.
The other runners will laugh at you, say, 15 seconds, I did it in 9, yeah, but I'm 14, you're 20.
Right.
But I can do it at this age.
So you can be the best in something, or the best in your category at
in
least.
your category.
Right.
In your, but it all starts from, and I'd like to reiterate the point, and I'll be reiterating the point all throughout the episodes, is you have to start learning about yourself. Who are you?
Learning about yourself. That will be our introduction to the second part
yes.
of the program here tonight. The first episode of Ramadan Changed Me. Dear viewers, we have to take a very short break. When we come back with Shaykh Ramiz Ibrahim, we'll be tackling very interesting points on self-development and how to teach yourself, and also get the view of our dear guests here in the studio, Mr. Abdullah, Mr. Amr, Mr. Ashir and Mr. Sharif. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a very short while.
With patience for the sake of Ar-Rahman, a continuous training to strengthen our Iman.
In the name of Allah, Muslims will be fasting all over the planet Earth. In China, in Russia, in Southeast Asia, in Africa, in America, in Europe, in the Middle East, in all parts of the planet, all nations, all races, all people will be fasting in this blessed month.
شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. And tajweed is a science that you cannot learn it on your own.
Mascot is a program which aims to answer your questions about your deen, your faith, your way of life. This, of course, is Islam.
This is a totally different price, but I divided the payment over this period of time. And the seller is the person or the firm which owns the item which you're buying. In this condition, this form of business transaction is lawful.
Bear with patience for the sake of Ar-Rahman.
Welcome back, dear Huda TV viewers, to the second part of the first episode, the first of our 10 episodes of our new program here, Ramadan Changed Me. And when just before the break, Shaykh Ramiz Ibrahim, our life coach, our psychotherapy and self-development trainer, was talking about the very important factor of knowing yourself, how to know yourself. And before I give the ball to you, Coach, I just want to say to our dear friends here in the studio, Abdullah, Amr, Ashir and Sharif, it's true you're going to be with us through the entirety of our 10 days, inshallah. But we want to get your voices heard also from now. So don't save it for the second or third or ninth episodes. We want your voices heard from now.
You will hear our voice tonight, inshallah.
Right. Coach, know yourself, knowing yourself.
Just a couple of things. Majority of people think they know themselves, but if we went through some of the exercises that I teach, you would know that majority of people know others better than they know themselves, and others know you better than know your own self. And this is a problem. This is a problem. And the problem stems from the fact that, for example, you'd go and you meet someone for the first time, you shake their hands, you ask their name, they give you their name, you give them your name, you walk away, and what happens? You forget their name. Because you're too busy imposing your ego, your nafs on them. You want to have the stage. It's about putting yourself aside. Who are you? I'm insignificant. Make someone significant in front of you, and you'll be significant. In regards to, not as in being proud or being better than anybody else, but to know yourself. You say, yes, I actually put that person before I put myself. And this is where the first development starts, from knowing yourself, is to put others before yourself. That way you will know yourself. You'll know if you're selfish, you'll know that if you're selfless. And it's very, very important for the two main needs of a human being, contribution and growth. And I'd just like to ask a question. We were speaking earlier about dreaming and planning. We have to ask a very important question to ourselves, literally to ourselves. Am I a planner or am I a dreamer? And to open the floor for discussion, I'd like to ask Brother Sharif about what your long-term or short-term goals are.
Yeah, as for my long-term goals and short-term goals, before I talk about this, I have to give you background about my career history first to understand it. I was graduated from the Faculty of Commerce, it was 8 years ago. Okay, since then and for 5 years after that, I worked very hard to collect money, and by the way, I got 2 jobs. In the morning, I was an accountant in the Ministry of Agriculture, and in the afternoon, I was an English teacher, and I'm still an English teacher. But during the 5 years, all what I cared about is to collect money, to build a house, to get married. That's all what I cared about. But after that, I asked myself a question. So, what's going to happen at the end? You are collecting money, and that's all. So, what's the end of all that? I really...
So that was your hierarchy of value.
Yeah,
that's what you spent time on, trying to covet money.
Yeah.
But
later, I wanted to promote my values.
Good.
I was good at English. This qualified me to be an English teacher. But at the same time, after the 5 or 6 years, I started to think about the hereafter. The hereafter, I have to do something for the hereafter. As long as we're talking about the long-term goals, so the matter here is very related to the hereafter. Everyone is gonna die, and that's what I thought about. So I thought about how to serve the religion, the Islamic religion, through English language that I was fond of. How to do this?
We hope you're doing this right now.
Alhamdulillah.
And achieving one of your dreams.
And for 2 or 3 years, I started to find out if there is an institute or a faculty that teaches Islamic studies. Therefore, I will help other people to know about Islam, especially the people in the Western world. And alhamdulillah, there is a professor, a great professor in the Faculty of Translation and Languages in the Azhar University. His name is Dr. Muhammad Abu Layla, and he established an institute. Because when I went there to the University of Azhar, they rejected me because I wasn't an Azhari student. You know that, but it was the system there. But alhamdulillah, I joined the institute. And I finished the first year, and alhamdulillah, I got the excellent degree. And I hope, inshallah, during the next year is the last one, by the way. And I hope, inshallah, I'll get the same degree and serve my religion.
Inshallah.
So, alhamdulillah, but the most important point here, that is to study and to be a scholar. You have to get enough time to study and to go on. That's why I decided to give up the job that I had in the Ministry of Agriculture, and most of my family or my relatives and friends, they discouraged me to do this. They said, "Don't do this." Right. But alhamdulillah, I finally quit. I gave up the job, and I'm happy to do this. Alhamdulillah.
I'm very happy for you.
And this is a very important point our brother's speaking about. Here, there's so many developmental aspects here of your life.
Yeah.
You knew that you had to make a change.
Yeah, I had to do that.
And the change that made the thing that made you want that change is you thought about the akhirah. So you changed your mindset now. Your mindset changed.
Yeah.
So all of this included time management. Knowing that as in the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that if he leaves something for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala,
Allah
will
would compensate him. Yeah.
This is exactly what happened. And this is, subhanAllah, this is a real thing, aspect of an anecdote of someone's life in regards to all of the
Alhamdulillah. And we want to congratulate you on this, Sharif.
Thank you.
Because we only have about 5 minutes left, Shaykh Ramiz and dear viewers, we want to also get the views on the question posed by Shaykh Ramiz Ibrahim. What are your short-term and long-term goals, Aishir?
My short-term goals is to be a better Muslim this Ramadan than last Ramadan. And my goal for this Ramadan is to develop myself so that next Ramadan I will be a better Muslim than this Ramadan. My short-term goals during this month is to take advantage of the fact that the shayateen are locked away, which gives me some more time and space to assess myself and not to be attracted to all of the haram that goes on in society. My short-term goal for this Ramadan is to see which faults I have acquired since last Ramadan, because sometimes you may acquire new faults that you didn't realize you acquired.
I guess by the time we end the program, 10 days from now, inshallah, Shaykh Ramiz Ibrahim will have put his hands on some of those and tried. So you're in the right place here.
Inshallah.
We want to also get the view of Mr. Abdullah.
My short-term goals is to first of all seek knowledge and try to look at what this knowledge is doing for me at the moment. You know, our predecessors, they used to seek knowledge in a different way that we did. They used to take it very slowly and act upon it. And I'm kind of like going through this now in my life. I think that knowledge is something that I need to take and change. With this knowledge is what I'm going to start looking to do. You know, as I'm achieving it, you know, try to make changes from there on.
Quite a noble goal, I believe, Coach. And finally, Amr?
Yeah, as for me, I'm a student now. So my short-term goals is to get my degree with high marks, which makes it be easy to find my beloved job in the future, and also be a good person or a better person in this Ramadan is another short-term goal, because Ramadan is only 30 days, you know. 30 days is only a beginning.
Ramadan is only 30 days and our episode is only 30 minutes, so unfortunately we'll have to close it out here, but we'll be back in the upcoming days with psychotherapy specialist and life coach and self-development trainer specialist Shaykh Ramiz Ibrahim, and with our dear guests here in the studio, Abdullah Adiyemi and Amr Abdul Al, and also Aishir Saeed and Sharif Hamdi. Dear viewers, we want to tell you about the question, the daily question in our program Ramadan Change Me. And today's question is, when did fasting Ramadan become an obligatory act of worship for Muslims? Again, when fasting Ramadan became an obligatory act of worship for Muslims. And you have three choices: the 2nd year of Hijrah, the 3rd year of Hijrah, or the 4th year of Hijrah. You could answer us via SMS on 002 014 3271 771. So it's 002 014 32 71 77 1. And that's today's question, and we'll be announcing the winner tomorrow, inshallah, at 10 p.m. here in Cairo. The start of our 2nd episode of Ramadan Changed Me, inshallah. We wish you, dear viewers, all the best until we meet again. On behalf of you, we thank very much Shaykh Ramiz Ibrahim, and waiting for the coaching and instructions for self-development in the upcoming episodes, Shaykh Ramiz. And we thank you, Abdullah, Amr, Aishar and Sharif. And we thank you, dear viewers. Until we meet again on Ramadan Change Me, this is Muhammad Abdurrahim. Happy Ramadan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Glory be to Allah who sent Ramadan as a mercy to mankind. It's a purification of our soul, our heart and our mind. Bear with patience for the sake of our Rahman. A continuous training to strengthen our Iman.